How's it going, YouTube? Dylan here. In this video, I'm going to tell you the one thing that I wish I did when I got started learning how to code. So, before I get to that one thing, I'm going to tell you a little bit of background because it's going to really help you to understand why I'm talking about this one thing. So, when I got started, I was mostly a self-taught developer, right? Yes, I did learn C in school. Yes, I did learn assembly in school, and it definitely did help later on down the line, but it never resonated with me, right? I never enjoyed it. I slacked at school because I hated it, and I really only got into web development because I wanted to work remote, I was working a job I didn't like, and I had to go into the office, and I didn't like that, so I wanted to learn to code so that I can learn work remote, right? So as a result, I was also kind of a cheapskate, right? I wanted to save as much money as possible, so going back to school and doing computer science was out of the question. Doing coding boot camp was out of the question. So as a result, I decided to self-teach myself. It was the viable option because, I could learn from YouTube, I could learn from tutorials online, I could buy cheap Udemy courses. Sounded like an excellent idea. But as I started to go down the journey, you guys all know the journey that it took me 1.5 years to find my first job. And honestly, if I think back to that period of time, it didn't have to take that long. And if I think back why that was, is because a lot of my time was done learning the wrong things. Like I'd be jumping around from niche to niche, from programming language to programming language. I was like a bunny on crack, right? A rat on crack. I was just jumping from each one based on what was hot at the time. And that really wasted a lot of time. So the one thing I wish I did when I got started was I wish that I got a mentor. Now, I'm not talking about coding bootcamp mentor. I'm not talking about your college professor mentor. I'm talking about a one-on-one mentor that can help me along the journey in order to make my coding journey a lot faster. And this was for me, I had the money, right? I had the money to pay somebody to teach me hourly, but I was just too cheap. And thinking about that was a really stupid decision. And I'll tell you the reason why it was a stupid decision. The reason why it was a stupid decision is because typically in life, you're paying with two kinds of things. You're either paying with your time or you're paying with your money, right? What's the difference between these two assets? Your time, you can't get it back. Once the 24 hours is up, you're not getting that time back, right? Whereas money is a replenishable resource, right? You can go, you can drive for Uber, you can make extra money that way, or you can deliver pizzas, you can do it that way, or you could sell lemonade at the side of the road. That could also be something that you choose to do. So, where am I going with this, and why am I suggesting a mentor? The reason why I'm suggesting a mentor is they're going to help you to avoid the pitfalls that I ended up falling into and help you guide yourself along a lot better. And I actually have a mentor right now to help me out with my data structures and algorithms as I'm preparing for, coding interviews, because I realized, and this was really a revelation for me, is, when I interviewed with LinkedIn, and you can watch the video on my experience interviewing with LinkedIn, the way I approached it was fundamentally incorrect, right? I was there memorizing problems. And then when I hired my mentor, and I told him, so he asked me, so what are you doing to prepare for interviews? And I told him, well, when I have an interview coming, I'll delay it about a month for the phone screen, and then I'll do as many lead code tagged company problems as possible. I'd buy the premium subscription, and I'd attempt to memorize it all. And he told me right away that I was doing it incorrectly. He said, no, that is not the right way to do it. What you need to do is you need to understand the fundamentals, and you need to understand so that even if you're given a problem that you've never seen before, you're able to figure it out on the spot. It doesn't matter that you come up with the ideal solution and that the minute that you're given that problem, you're expected to just, boom, solve problem, ideal solution. What you need to focus on is you need to focus on the thought process. Now, I've heard bits and pieces of the thought process on YouTube videos, but nobody told me that in that much detail. He went through the entire thought process of, breaking down the problem, analyzing different solutions. What is this time complexity? Why is it this time complexity? Why are we using this solution? Planning out what you're going to do in pseudocode and then coding it. That's what's going to get the most positive signals. And if I didn't hire this mentor, I would have never figured that out. And you can say the same thing when it comes to, just learning how to code. You're learning JavaScript for the first time. When you watch YouTube tutorials, there's way too much information. And a lot of the time, these course creators want to make money, right? If they're not a big content creator, they're going to find a way to monetize it. And I know all the strategies because I've been in the marketing field. What they're going to do is they're going to make a video and they're going to provide value. They're going to give you a really helpful project. And then it's not going to be quite as polished as it should be. But if you sign up to their course, they're going to give you the entire thing. Then you're going to have the entire project. Because they're out there to make money. Most people who, create these courses on YouTube and full courses, most of the time, they're not doing it because they love it. Of course, there's going to be some people who are exceptions to the rule. And they absolutely love teaching. They love, teaching people how to code. They're really passionate about it. But to be honest, most people are in it for the money. Most people have bills to pay. Most people, have a family to feed, a roof to put over their head. They need that extra source of income. So how are they going to do it? They're going to learn marketing. They're going to use all the marketing tactics on you, right? So you're not ever going to get the complete solution. So the only way to get this solution is either to pay for the course or pay for their time. And I've taken a lot of courses over my lifetime, and I can speak to you that courses can be helpful, but things change so quickly, especially in tech, right? So you need somebody on the inside who's going to be able to teach you that information in real time based on what's in need of the market right now, right? So now that I convinced you to try to find a mentor, your question might be, how do you go to find it? Well, what I think the best way to do it is you're going to go on LinkedIn. You're going to look for people in big tech companies with non-traditional backgrounds, right? Because those people, I found, tend to have kind of a soft spot for people who are trying to get into the industry, and they're more going to be able to help you out, right? Add them on LinkedIn, ask them, hey, send a connection request, say, hey, I noticed that you work at X and X tech company. I'm looking for my dream company. I'd love to ask you some questions on what it's like to work at Google, right? And then that's how you're going to get them to connect. And then you're going to get them on the phone on an informational call, and you're going to pitch them and say, hey, I want to learn how to code. I'm willing to work hard and pay the price. What's your hourly rate, right? You're going to do this with a couple people, and eventually someone's going to bite because you're literally offering them money. Like, how could they turn that down, right? And you're asking them from their rate, and then you can negotiate from there. If they say $50 an hour, you say, well, how about $40 an hour? How about $30 an hour? You go from there, and now you have that one-on-one coaching to help you along the journey. If I did this in the past, I know that I would have not have spent almost 2 years trying to get a job. If I wasn't too stubborn, if I wasn't too cheap, I would have really fast-tracked my progress and really got a job a lot faster. I want you to do the same for you. So my advice to you is to go out there, get a coach, and he's going to help you along the way. And that's really going to help you to shorten the time curve that you spend in this learn to code phase, because it's one of the most frustrating parts about learning how to code. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.